You may be facing opposition right now. People talking behind your back. People trying to discredit you, block your paths, discourage your dream. But here's the truth. You don't have to fight every battle that comes your way. You don't have to respond to every insult, chase every critic, or prove yourself to those who misunderstand you. There is a higher way to win, a wiser way, a God-ordained way. You can destroy your enemy without even lifting a hand. Victory doesn't always come through noise. Sometimes it comes through silence. God has already written the outcome, and it's in your favor. They may throw shade, but you don't have to step into the darkness. The most powerful response to provocation is not retaliation. When you rise above the drama, you put distance between you and the distraction. Think about it. Eagles don't flap around with crows. They soar. When someone insults you, mocks your journey, or tries to pull you down, don't get entangled in the emotion. The enemy's goal is to bait you, to pull you into a place where your peace is disturbed, your purpose is distracted, and your energy is drained. But when you choose to stay calm, to walk in love, to stay focused on your calling, you defeat them without ever saying a word. You're not ignoring them because you're weak, or walking away because you're strong. You've got places to go, lives to impact, a future to step into. You don't have time to wrestle with shadows. The moment you stop engaging with smallness, it begins to shrink on its own. And people notice, not because you fought back, but because you didn't need to. There's something powerful about not reacting. You don't have to prove your worth to anyone. You don't have to explain your value. When you know who you are, you no longer need to answer every critic or defend every step you take. You're not on this earth to convince people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Some people are threatened by your growth, your peace, your destiny. So they throw distractions at you. They try to disturb your balance, hoping you'll step out of character and into conflict. But when you maintain your calm, your dignity becomes your weapon. There is something intimidating about someone who won't be moved, won't be angered, and won't be reduced. You see, responding to provocation is what they expect. That's the cycle that most people fall into. Somebody talks bad about you. Talk bad about it. They try to damage your reputation. You try to expose their flaws. But now you're playing on their level. Now you're in the same peers, using the same tools. And even if you win that fight, you still walked away with mud on your hands. That's not who you are. You're not meant to fight petty battles with small minds. Your elevation is in your ability to see it, know it's happening, and still walk forward like nothing is chasing you. Because deep down, you know that what's trying to pull you down can't touch what's been placed over your life. Think about how much energy is lost when we engage in unnecessary conflict. You rehearse what they said. You plan your response. You relive the conversation over and over in your mind. You carry it into your sleep, into your spirit. Before you know it, you've given more energy to the enemy than to your destiny. And that's the real loss. Not that they insulted you, but that they succeeded in pulling your attention away from where you were going. But when you rise above it, when you choose peace over pettiness, you keep your momentum. You keep your clarity. You keep your soul clean. And that's a kind of power your enemy can't compete with. Some people think silence is weakness, but it's often the strongest stand you can take. It says, I know my worth, and I don't need to prove it. It says, you don't get access to my peace. It says, you can talk about me, but I won't talk to you. You turn their weapons into dust by refusing to pick them up. And here's the thing. People watch how you handle opposition. They're observing not just what your enemies say, but how you respond. Your grace under fire becomes your testimony. When you refuse to be reactive, your integrity becomes your advocate. That's how you destroy your enemy without fighting them. Not with bitterness, not with revenge, but by continuing to rise, even while they're trying to pull you down. They may still talk, they may still plot, but when nothing they do gets a response from you, they lose their power. Because the greatest defeat isn't when your enemy is shouted down. It's when they're ignored and exposed by your peace. They can't argue with your success. They can't block what God has ordained. They can't compete with your calling. So they settle for distraction. But your strength is in not taking the bait. Every time you choose peace over provocation, you grow. Every time you walk away from conflict, you rise. Every time you stay in character while others lose theirs, you win a battle they don't even realize they lost. You don't need to swing to strike. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to fight to win. Just rise. Keep your spirit clean. Keep your head high. Keep walking in purpose. Because when you rise above the drama, you defeat it without ever touching. You don't always have to speak up when people criticize you. You don't have to argue, prove, or clap back when you're misunderstood, falsely accused, or disrespected. There is a power that comes with restraint, and there is a higher language that your enemy cannot debate. Results. When you keep doing what you do with your whole heart, with diligence, with humility, and with excellence, the very thing they try to use against you becomes irrelevant. Your results out-talk your haters. Your excellence will overshadow every insult. You may not always be able to explain yourself. You may not get the chance to set the record straight, but if you just stay in your lane and keep producing, fruit will speak. It's hard to argue with someone who's thriving. It's hard to deny the glow of someone walking in purpose. It's hard to talk someone down when their work keeps standing up. And that's where your quiet victory lies. You're not fighting back in words, you're letting your life become the statement. There are times when God won't clear your name immediately. He'll allow the whispers, the false narratives, the tension not to destroy you, but to develop you. He wants to show you that character will keep you where arguments can't. Or step out of line to be seen. Just keep showing up, keep doing your best, and excellence will open doors your enemies tried to shut. Your consistency becomes your weapon. Not only does it prove your dedication, but it shows that nothing can break your focus, not even sabotage. Excellence is a posture. It's not perfection. It's doing the best you can with what you have and refusing to lower your standards because others have lowered theirs. It's walking in rooms with grace. It's keeping your tone respectful when others are loud and aggressive. It's honoring your commitments even when your name is being dragged. Showing up early, staying prepared, remaining joyful, and being faithful. That kind of living speaks volumes. Commands attention. It silences the critics. It leaves an imprint on hearts, opportunities, and atmospheres. That's why you have to stay committed, even when it feels unnoticed. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's being inspired. You never know which door is about to open because of the way you carried yourself when others were trying to tear you apart. Let them plot. Let them plot. Let them misjudge. Just keep doing what you do and do it well. Because one day, they won't be able to ignore the undeniable hand over your life. One day, the same people who questioned you will have to acknowledge you, not because you demanded it, but because your results left them no choice. That's how you destroy your enemy without fighting them. You outgrow their attacks. You outlast their lies. And you outperform their expectations. With quiet excellence as your weapon of choice. There's something incredibly powerful about not being in a hurry to defend yourself. Not everything needs an immediate explanation. Not every attack requires a counterattack. Sometimes the greatest act of strength is patience. The world tells you to strike back. React fast. Don't let them get away with it. But wisdom says, wait, let time do what only time can do. Time is not your enemy, it's your ally. It may feel like injustice is winning, but give it time. Time has a way of rotating the stage, shifting the spotlight, and revealing everything that was hidden in the dark. You don't have to force exposure. Just stay faithful. Let your actions speak louder than your anger. Don't try to manipulate time to hurt those who hurt you. That's not your role. Time is not a tool of revenge. It's an instrument of truth. Let it do its work in peace. When it vindicate without vengeance, when you give time the room to breathe, you stop being reactive and start walking in wisdom. And that wisdom becomes your covering, your protection, and your advantage. Sometimes your silence in the moment is not weakness. It's a vote of confidence in time. It says, I don't need to win this battle today because I know the truth will win eventually. That kind of perspective disarms your enemies. They won't know how to handle you. While they're consumed with drama, you're walking in destiny. While they're looking for attention, you're building something eternal. In the long run, time not only proves your character, but also reveals your capacity. It shows the world you weren't just reacting to a moment. You were living for a mission. You weren't obsessed with clearing your name. You were committed to honoring your calling. That difference sets you apart and elevates you beyond the reach of your critics. The victory that comes through time is deep, satisfying, and complete. Because it didn't come through retaliation, it came through revelation. Truth came out, growth took place. You didn't have to fight anyone to win. That's the kind of victory that lasts, the kind that multiplies, because it wasn't birthed in ego, but in endurance. So be patient. Don't pan. Don't pan is not passing you by. It's preparing the table, clearing the air, and writing the real story. The moment you release it to God, peace begins to flow. Clarity returns. Joy starts rising, because your soul finally breathes again. You don't have to have the last word. You don't have to settle the score. You don't have to chase justice, because justice is chasing you. It's already been scheduled, already been written, already been ordered by the one who sees the end from the beginning. So breathe. Rest. Let go of the need to control. Let go of the urge to fight fire with fire. What you commit to God, He covers. What you release from your hands, He places into His altar. And in His hands, it's safer than you could ever imagine. That's how you destroy your enemy without fighting them. You rise above the battle, surrender it to God, and walk forward knowing that divine justice is never late, never blind, and never silent. It's always on time, and always on your side. It's easy to be peaceful when everything is going well, when everyone is supportive, when you're being celebrated, when life feels secure. Peace comes naturally. But the kind of peace that holds real power is the one you carry when the environment doesn't support it. When people are stirring up trouble, when you're being misunderstood or misrepresented, when conflict surrounds you, that's when true peace becomes your weapon. That's when it reveals itself as a spiritual force, not just an emotional state. And that peace is not passive, it's protective. Your enemy doesn't just want to see you fail. They want to disrupt your state of mind, because they know if they can steal your peace, they can block your clarity. And if they can block your clarity, they can influence your choices. You'll speak out of frustration instead of wisdom. You'll act from emotion instead of discernment. You'll be guided by anxiety instead of purpose. That's why peace is so powerful, because it keeps you from giving your enemy what they want most. A reaction. Reaction is what gives your enemy relevance. It validates their attack. It fuels their fire. But when you don't react, When you stay steady, quiet, calm, you take away their control. They may shout, but you don't echo it. They may push, but you don't push back. And in doing so, you become untouchable. Not because the storm isn't real, but because the storm doesn't get inside of you. Being unshakable doesn't mean you don't feel the pressure. It means the pressure doesn't define your posture. You still show up with kindness. You still speak with grace. You still operate in excellence. Not because you're ignoring what's happening, but because you've made a decision to protect what's inside of you. You've worked too hard for your peace to let someone steal it with a rumor. You've come too far to let someone's opinion detour your day. When you protect your peace, protect your path. Peace gives you the strength to observe without absorbing. You can hear the noise and not let it live in you. You can notice the tension and still choose calm. And this frustrates your enemies. Because while they throw chaos at you, you don't give them what they crave, a messy, emotional public reaction. Instead, you stay in alignment, you stay grounded, and that's where the power lies, in the stillness that confuses those who came to shake you. Real strength isn't in shouting, it's in silence. Real power isn't in controlling others, it's in mastering yourself. When you've trained yourself not to be triggered by every insult, when you've taught your soul to remain still in storms, you become a person who cannot be manipulated by the environment. You're not pulled into gossip. You're not distracted by drama. You're not derailed by disrespect. That makes you dangerous to darkness because your presence remains stable even in chaos. You'll find that peace is magnetic. When others see you not flinching, not falling apart under pressure, they begin to admire you, even those who once opposed you. Because deep down, everyone desires peace. And when they see it alive in you, especially under pressure, it speaks louder than any argument you could have made. It draws favor, it draws honor, and it opens doors that anger could never unlock. Staying unshakable doesn't mean you don't confront things, but it means you do it from a place of strength, not from instability. You respond when it's right, not when you're provoked. You speak when it's wise, not just when you're emotional. And you act when you're ready, not when you're lured into a fight. This kind of posture gives you control over your atmosphere. While others are stuck in conflict, you're making progress. While they're playing small games, you're walking in big purpose. The greatest threat to your enemy is your undisturbed peace, because it proves they have no power over your emotions. And when your emotions are free, your decisions are clear, your spirit is open, your creativity flows, your energy is focused. That's when you become unstoppable, not because you fought back, but because you stayed planted. Every time you choose peace over panic, stillness over chaos, calm over conflict, you win. You prove that your spirit is stronger than the scheme, that your mind is bigger than the manipulation, that your destiny is more important than the distraction. You stop playing their game because you're too busy building your own. Your unshakable peace is how you destroy your enemy without fighting them. You disarm them by not reacting. You overpower them by not engaging. And you silence them by continuing to thrive. While they plot, you grow. While they talk, you rise. While they try to pull you down, you stay rooted in peace so deep that no storm can uproot it. Don't let the noise pull you out of alignment. Don't let the offense get inside your heart. Don't give away your peace to someone who isn't even on your level. The more calm you remain, the clearer your vision becomes. And the clearer your vision, the quicker you move toward your purpose. Let your peace do the talking. Let your calm be the comeback. Because when your spirit stays steady, no enemy, no lie, no pressure, no attack can stop what's already been set in motion for your life. There will always be people who misunderstand you, underestimate you, and even oppose walking in purpose. As you rise, resistance will rise too. But the way to win is not by engaging in every battle, not by arguing your worth, not by trying to convince others of who you are. The way to win is to grow so much that the conversation becomes irrelevant. It's not about proving a point. It's about becoming the proof. When people come against you, they expect a fight. They expect you to respond, to push back, to get emotional. But what confuses, disarms the enemy is when you simply keep growing, when you choose development over debate, when you decide that your personal revolution is more important than their opinions. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. That's the kind of strength that doesn't make noise but makes impact. You don't have to defend your destiny. You just have to grow into it. Keep working on your character. Keep building your vision. Keep becoming who you were created to be. The more you grow, the less their words matter. Their accusations shrink in the presence of your transformation. Their gossip fades in the light of your progress. And without saying a word, you've done something more powerful than any argument. You've shown results. Outgrowing your enemies doesn't mean you think you're better. It means you've chosen to become better instead of bitter. You've made the decision that your energy is too valuable to waste on pointless conflict. You're not denying the offense, you're simply not feeding it. Because whatever you feed grows. And you've got too much growing to do in your own life to be feeding negativity. The truth is, growth silences gossip. Maturity ends cycles. When people try to drag you into their drama and you no longer participate, the scene begins to change. Not because they stopped talking, but because you stopped listening. You stepped into a different space. You leveled up spiritually, emotionally, mentally. And when you grow, the old battles no longer fit your new mindset. Sometimes the most powerful revenge is your glow up. Go. It's your peace, your success, your joy, your healing, your quiet confidence, showing the world that what was meant to break you only built you. That the pain didn't stop you, it shaped you. That the betrayal didn't block you, it blessed you. You didn't just survive the attack, you evolved beyond it. And now, you're walking in a version of yourself that doesn't even need to explain the past, because the future is speaking louder. To outlive your enemies means you keep showing up. You keep creating when they tried to cancel you. You keep walking forward when they threw stones to stop your steps. Your very presence becomes a declaration that nothing they did worked. That everything they tried to use against you only became fuel for your fire. Your endurance becomes your evidence. You didn't fight back. You just outlasted them. To outgrow them means you no longer live at the level of their energy. You don't argue with small minds. You don't gossip back. You don't clap back. You've evolved. You've grown past the need to be right. You're not seeking revenge. You're seeking revelation. You're not triggered. You're transformed. And the people who once had the power to upset you no longer even get a response. That's real growth. That's real freedom. To outshine them means you let your light speak. Not a light of arrogance, but a light of purpose, peace, and presence. You shine by being authentic, by walking in your assignment, by showing up fully and unapologetically. You don't have to dim anyone else's flame to burn brighter. Your shine doesn't come from competition. It comes from conviction. You've discovered who you are, and that discovery radiates louder than any defense you could ever make. And here's the truth. Your transformation will make some people uncomfortable. Not everyone will clap when you rise. Some people were more comfortable with you broken, insecure, or struggling. Because your healing reminds them of their own stagnation. Your progress shines a light on their lack of growth. That's why they criticize. But you don't have to. You just keep growing. You just keep becoming. Because the more you evolve, the less room there is for them in your story. At some point, You stop needing to win arguments and you start focusing on winning in life. You realize that proving yourself is temporary, but growing yourself is eternal. Arguments fade, character endures. That's why your transformation is your greatest testimony. It tells a story no one can deny. It says, I've been through it, but I didn't get stuck in it. I didn't retaliate. I rebuilt. I didn't attack. I ascended. That's how you destroy your enemy without fighting them. You outlive their attacks, outgrow their reach, and outshine their negativity. Not because you tried to take them down, but because you chose to rise. You don't need to fight to win. You don't have to scream to be heard. You don't have to prove yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding. The real power isn't in clapping back. It's in rising. No. It's in choosing peace when you could choose war. It's in walking away when you have every reason to engage. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's maturity. That's faith. You destroy your enemies not by becoming like them, but by becoming more of who you were created to be. You rise above the noise. You let your results do the talking. You let time reveal what's real. Surrender what you can't control. You stay unshakable in your peace. You keep growing until what once wounded you can't even reach you anymore. Some battles aren't meant to be fought. They're meant to be outlasted. And when you choose not to engage, when you choose not to sink, when you choose not to stoop, you've already won. Because the goal was never to destroy them. The goal was to preserve your purpose, protect your joy, and stay focused on the path ahead. Keep rising. Keep walking in love. Keep becoming. Because while others are fighting for attention, you're walking into divine elevation. And nothing, no lie, no attack, no betrayal can stop what God has already placed in motion for your life. You are winning, not with fists, but with faith. Not by force, but by favor. You're not fighting them because you're too busy outgrowing, outliving, and outshining everything that tried to take you down. And that's how you destroy your enemy without ever fighting.